Am I the a-hole for breaking my #1 sex rule with a handicapped guy? And this one does have a brand new update to it. Original post, April 27th, 2024. I'm a 28 female. My childhood best friend, we'll call Jess, is also 28 female. To put it simply, I don't think I'm any kind of prude. I just don't really feel comfortable with casual sex. Never have. My best friend knows this and has teased me about it lightly in the past. She's been in a long-term relationship for the last 3 years. I've mostly been single while working on my degree and starting my career. Jess lives in another state with her boyfriend, so we don't hang out much anymore. So about a month ago, I had a first date with a guy I'd been talking to for a bit. Thought it was going places, but he gave a weird vibe on the date, and I cut and ran early. On my way home, I stopped at a local pub, figured I'd have a drink to unwind and people watch till it wore off. Tipsy driving is still drunk driving in my opinion. I get there and it's pretty packed, Friday night and all, and there was no seating room at the bar. Took my drink and looked around. Most of the restaurant side of the pub was someone's birthday party, but there was a small table with a seat open off to the side, with a guy reading a book there. So I say, F it, I'm a social person, and what's the worst thing that happens? He says, no. So I ask if I can sit there for a bit, and I promise we don't have to talk or anything. At this point, I feel like I fucked up because this guy up close is the hottest man I've ever seen. But he just smiled at me and gave an enthusiastic, sure. A few minutes later of me sipping in silence, and he says, I don't mind talking if you want to. Yeah, I want to. Are you kidding me right now? We talked for a bit, and it turns out Mike, fake name, is 29 and just finished his master's degree in some kind of computer learning field. In quotations, I program computers to program computers, and he's living on his own for the first time. He apparently stops by the pub after work because he's right around the corner and he's not used to the silence yet after living so long with half a dozen siblings. We talked for a good 2 hours about everything from dating, which he said he's basically given up on, to hobbies and tastes, and we have a near total eclipse of a Venn diagram on this stuff. I eventually sort of blurted out that I don't know why he'd give up on dating. This is the closest thing I've had to a good date in forever. Shooting my shot obliquely here, LOL. He gets kind of an odd look on his face and says, tell you what, I have to go to the bathroom, but when I come back, I'll ask you out for real. Weird, but okay. Then it all clicks because he doesn't get up to walk away. He just rolls in his wheelchair. And I'm thinking, oh my God. He wanted to give me a chance to back out of this without making it awkward. How cute can this guy be? He grinned like crazy when he got back and saw I was still there, and I basically tripped over myself saying something to the effect of, so I'm free all weekend, what did you have in mind? Another hour later, we've got plans for Saturday, and he told me he has a neuromuscular disorder I can't remember the name of. My degree isn't in STEM, LOL. So his legs work, but the signals from his brain get misinterpreted, so he doesn't have the balance or coordination for walking or standing. The pub starts switching over to the younger/rowdier crowd, and he asks if I'd like to go back to his place for coffee to continue our conversation. Hey, yo, my boy! Come on, we know what that is. Let's go back to my place for some coffee, haha. Honestly, we love it. This is very wholesome so far. I'm very curious where it goes. As you have probably long since realized, I did not get any coffee or conversation till the next morning, and I have zero regrets. We've been dating since, and I know it's still early, but I really feel like this might be the one. Onward to yesterday afternoon, my friend Jess, remember Jess, is in town, and we go out for coffee to catch up on things. I'm gushing about Mike, but when I get to how we met, she just sort of got weird and edgy. I don't remember any exact words, but she essentially said that I must have a fetish for the handicapped since I broke my #1 rule, and it's the best physical relationship I've ever been in. Like, it's good for me because he uses a wheelchair, not because the guy puts in effort in bed. She said I've changed as a person and left without even saying goodbye. 15 years of friendship, and I've never seen her like that. So here I am asking the most objective people online, haha, if I'm an a-hole or weird for being super attracted to a guy who uses a wheelchair and basically putting out immediately. I mean, no, not the a-hole, but what suspect behavior? Like, it's clearly not what Jess is saying because she was interested in the guy before she even found out that he was in a wheelchair. We know that that's debunked. We know that she actually has feelings for this guy, and hey, yo, girl, if you're feeling the chemistry and you're feeling comfy, like, have sex with that man whenever you want, bro. Girl, go get your nut. If he pleases you, I want you to be like, Scrat, you go get that nut, all right? Chat, I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. I'm predicting that Jess knows Mike. What a weird thing to accuse your friend of. Oh, you just like him because you have a wheelchair fetish. Like, what? It seems out of left field. That's the only reason I'm like, okay, there has to be something else here. Because if there isn't something else, there's something seriously wrong with Jess. Friend is either insanely ableist and projecting or is in love with Mike. I agree, Lesbian Wolf. I agree. Ooh, the local manic. I think Jess is in love with OP. Y'all, dude, that would be crazy. Okay, we got some crazy predictions for this one, chat. I love it. I'm here for it. First update posted April 29th, 2024, 2 days later. So if you were hoping for some terrible drama, I hate to break it to you that I don't roll like that. No pun intended. So I do have an update on Jess and shit finally makes perfect sense. And I have a slightly not safe for work, but funny story about Mike because this guy is just the best, y'all. Okay. So first, I finally messaged Jess yesterday and said, basically, I'm still hurt by what you said, but after 15 years of friendship, I'd never forgive myself if I didn't at least ask why you snapped at me like that. That is a very healthy reply, and I kind of agree with her. Rare Reddit W with good communication. She replied immediately, I'm so effing sorry. I didn't mean any of that. Can we have a do-over on lunch? So I agreed cautiously and took a half day to meet with her today. Turns out that those of you who said she was jealous and that she might have something else going on, and especially the person who said something might be going on in her relationship, gold stars. She's in town because she's job hunting, because she's moving back in with her parents for a while since her relationship ended. Apparently, they have been having a ton of small problems adding up, but the biggest one? Sex. The guy she's been with was apparently never great, but it's gotten to the point where he makes no effort at all for her to enjoy herself and then gets pissed when she isn't in the mood. She tried talking with him about it, making suggestions, but he told her recently that it's emasculating, being given sex advice by a woman. I would like to counter that by saying it's more emasculating not to be making the woman you've been in a relationship for the last 3 years. I think it's more emasculating that you can't make her come. I'm sorry, if you're a man who's into women and you don't care about them coming, you are not a man. You are a boy. You are a child. Look, not to like sit here and suck my own dick, it's not that hard. At least work on figuring it out. Like, it could be as easy as like ordering a toy. The straw that broke the metaphorical camel's back, however, was that her boyfriend has always had a thing for Asian women. She's Caucasian, but she does have long black hair. After a few weeks of fighting over their sex life, he suggested that they spice things up by her dressing in a kimono and pretending to be Asian. Excuse me, pretending to be Asian. There is no way that you do that and it's not racist as fuck. Girl, you were with this guy for 3 years? It took you that long? She lost it on him and is absolutely disgusted by the racist fetishism and ended it right then. So she had all of this bottled up and was hoping to talk to me and finally be able to put it down. And I missed every hint that she had something big to discuss because I was gushing about Mike. So to her, it felt like I was just twisting the knife by bragging about how great our sex was. She snapped, and somewhere between what I was saying and what she wanted to talk about, some wires got crossed and she said something incredibly dumb. She left without saying goodbye because she was mortified and ashamed as well as irrationally mad at me. Something to know about Jess, she's an awful liar, and she and I were the co-founders of our high school's Foot in the Mouth Society. So I do believe her. I told her I forgive her and I'm sorry I didn't realize she wanted to talk about something bothering her, and she said I was too stupidly nice and have nothing to apologize for. So I think we'll be okay. For the time being, I'm not ready for her and Mike to meet because I don't want to make things feel worse, and she agrees. But she's really, really happy for me. Hopefully this is just a funny story we can look back on someday. Okay. I'm glad they made up. So on to how Mike almost killed me, LOL. Last night we were talking about the Reddit post, and he gets this funny expression that I'm starting to recognize. And he goes, how do we know you don't have a fetish if we haven't at least tried it in the chair? And I'm like, are you serious, LOL? He said he's never attempted it because, cue tears, he's never felt so comfortable with a partner before. Girl, now you have to have sex in that chair. That's so cute. Well, his chair has what is essentially like a parking brake thing. Or it should. It's unfortunately broken, and apparently getting them fixed is an expensive pain in the ass. He doesn't use it that often, so he hasn't made it a priority. And there's this thing called Newton's third law. You know how every action has an equal and opposite reaction? As it happens, when you're trying to get the motion of the ocean going, in a chair with wheels that aren't locked, there's a sort of counter motion that starts and fucks it all up. So we were going nowhere fast, except for inching along the floor in his bedroom and laughing at the silliness, which isn't helping. Eventually, he just stops and says, maybe we can get some of those wooden block things they use to keep little planes from rolling away. Like in Indiana Jones, you know. I absolutely lost it, like laughing so hard I'm in tears. He's giggling half at the situation and half at my reaction, and everything just keeps setting me off again. Finally, I get it under control, doing some deep breathing exercises and shit, and I look at him again, and he pulls the straightest face he can and says, for the love of God, golly, this sure is uncomfortable. Folks, if I had asthma, I would have been fucking dying right there. I laughed so hard, I think I pulled a rib. Like wheezing and not even laughing anymore, so much as weeping and making this awful hee noise when I could catch my breath. While he's laughing and rubbing my back and saying he's sorry, he couldn't resist. The golly part got me, chat. Yo, I was not expecting this to be wholesome. We might have to change the title to Best of Redditor Updates is NSFW, but also wholesome question mark? I don't know if any of the other stories are gonna be wholesome, but fuck it. I'm not clickbaiting, okay? So yeah, confirmed, no fetish here, and this magnificent bastard's comedic timing might actually kill me. I doubt I'll update again because there's really nothing I can see needing to share given everything sort of worked out, and in the end, the real a-holes were the friends we made along the way? Question mark? I don't know. Thanks for all the lovely comments on my last post. But chat, there do kind of be 1, 2, 3, 4 more 5 more updates. Oh shit, chat. What do you know, guys? Starting the video off hot with a wholesome story? Is this a Sarby video? What the hell? Where did this come from? Hopefully nothing goes awry. I'm hoping and praying this stays wholesome. The last update has to be them getting married. If it's not, I'm literally gonna throw a tantrum. Update 2, met his family. May 13th, 2024, 2-ish weeks later. Hello again. I was going to post this on my own page, but a few people mentioned that they think it's nice to read on Am I the A-hole? So fuck it. Here's the met Mike's family update, and it's a doozy. Or at least felt like it at the time for a girl who grew up with a small, dysfunctional family. So first up, you know what people, at least me, don't think about when dating a guy who's always sitting? Height. I know he's taller than me because we cuddle a lot, and he's taller sitting on the couch, but I didn't really get it. So we drove up Friday night after work, actually south and west LOL, but to my brain it's always up, in his vehicle, which is modified to be driven entirely using his hands. Neat, right? He's a really good driver too. One more green flag. We get to the house and it's huge, you guys. LOL. Like, not a mansion, just kind of sprawling one-floor rancher. Real estate was wild back in the day. Anyway, we get out and I meet his mom. I'd like to point out I am no slouch. I'm 5'7". His mom is towering over me, but she was the nicest lady ever. We go inside and I meet his dad, who, funny enough, is apparently the only short one in this family, and his youngest sister, who is living there with his 1-year-old niece. She gets up to hug me and she is also really tall. It's already a bit late then, so we eat and head to bed. I get to see his cute as shit room from when he was a teenager, and I casually ask, hey, so, I don't know how this works and stuff, but how tall are you? And Mike is all, I don't know, like a bit over 6'4". Been a while since I checked. A bit over 6'4". So, is everyone in your family tall? His response, kinda. Wait, hold on. We love the dad, the short king, going for the Amazon woman, chat. We love a short king, and I don't know how short he is, actually, but for all intents and purposes, our homeboy's a short king. We love a short king who's comfortable with himself to be shorter than the woman he's dating, and also giving his children a chance at college athletic scholarship. We met the Nordic basketball team he calls a family properly the next day. Actually, they're Irish, but they're blonde and tall, so it conveys the idea better. The only one of reasonable height and still taller than me was his oldest sister, LOL. They are also loud, like not really shouting or anything usually, just present. Mike is a lot different around them, but in the cutest way. Like, he just beams all the time and you can see how happy he is to be home. One of his brothers put him in a headlock and gave him a dang noogie as a greeting and got elbowed in the side for it, and all of them laughing. And his mom smacked one of his brothers with a rolled up magazine for putting his feet on the table. more laughing, just intimidating, but in the happiest way imaginable. I'll admit I was a little shut down for a bit, but Mike kept checking in with me to make sure I was okay, and they were all really nice, so I got into the spirit after a bit. Chat confirmed it does in fact get even more wholesome. This is good. My angry little heart needed this, chat. I mentioned this in another comment, but Mike has a special sports wheelchair he uses for, well, sports. And he and his siblings play basketball, and he is good. Apart from just having a hell of an arm, he's quick as hell, and this magnificent bastard that I love will absolutely, purposefully, gleefully run someone's toes over. He aims for it. They all have this yank back the foot maneuver that's hysterical to watch. Hey, yo, I mean, if you're competing with people who have legs, I say all for it. That's just utilizing what you have to your advantage, all right? Also, how long have they been dating at this point? 2-ish weeks later? That's crazy, y'all. She dropped the L-bomb. Y'all notice that? And this magnificent bastard that I love. So it was this crazy day of loud people playing and having a blast, nieces and nephews running around, and just noise. My ears are still ringing. The food was catered in advance because his mom had 7 babies. All I make on Mother's Day is margaritas. They also have a pool. It's a bit chilly still, but the pool is heated. So we actually all got to swim, which was a lot of fun because I got to show off that I too am athletic. And I can do a backwards somersault off a diving board. Yeah, I'm a real catch, LOL. They at least pretended to be impressed. We all stayed up late drinking and bitching that it was too overcast to see the aurora, boo. And I had the worst hangover I've had in a while on Sunday. We slept in a bit late, and then I joined Mike's family for the barbecue part of the barbecue weekend. His dad can grill people, and he's fast. Food coming off the grill at lightning speed. I asked Mike about it, and he laughed and said, there was 7 of us to feed. Ever see a nest of baby birds? He had to practice, which... fair enough. I don't have much experience with babies, but I got to hold his youngest niece, the one living at home with his sis until her husband gets back from deployment, and we had a light talk about kids in the future. I told him that I never put much thought into it, but if they were going to grow up in a happy home like his and not how I grew up, I'm pretty sure I'd be open to having them with him someday. But later, I need him all to myself for a while. He seemed really, really happy about that, which makes me feel all goofy and happy. I'm sappy. Chat. This shit is so cute. I can feel my heart that has become cynical from Reddit over all these videos just slowly healing chat. This story will make me a better person. Unless it ends poorly, and then I will start war. We had to drive home Sunday night, but before we went, his mom hugged me and said she's never seen her son like this and thanked me for taking good care of her baby and asked if we'd be back for the 4th of July or if we were doing something with my family. And I tried to be all, no, we'll be here if you don't mind. I don't see them much. And I think she caught on that there's more to the story, so she just hugged the shit out of me. Vikings, all of them, I swear. And told me she can't wait to see me again. My ears are still ringing from all the noise and chaos, but it was an absolute blast, and I can't wait to see them again in July. Also, pretty much sure Mike is the man I'm going to marry. I literally can't think of a single reason why I would ever let him get away. Anyway, thanks for reading. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. And those of you who got to see the aurora, I'm happy for you, but you suck, LOL. Usually, I'm like, you want to marry someone in 2 weeks? Red flag. But this one time, I'm gonna look the other way. Because I also want them to get married tomorrow. Like, the next update is like, we shotgun wedding eloped and we have 4 kids. I know that's not possible in a year, but, well, actually it is. Third update. Again, dating a disabled guy, 4th of July. July 6th, 2024, 2-ish months later. As I've gotten a ton of requests for updates, I figured I would let you guys know how things are going in my world. You know how sometimes a relationship looks amazing at first, but then all the red flags start showing up? This isn't one of those stories, LOL. Oh, no, giving me a heart attack, girl. Don't do that shit. Sorry, that was mean, but I couldn't resist. Okay, on the actual updates. No, we aren't engaged yet. Yes, we have talked about it in the context of how seriously we are taking things. No babies yet either, obviously. We are diligent about birth control. I want Mike all to myself for a while. So, the 4th of July visit to his family's house was pretty awesome. After getting to know everyone last time, I had better expectations of what I was going into, and I've talked with my therapist about the whole play fighting makes me anxious because in my childhood home, it wasn't playing thing. I don't want them to ever curb how they act to cater to me, and instead, I guess, I'll consider it immersion therapy. I think Mike mentioned it anyways because I didn't see much of it this time, though there were cheerful threats of doom lobbed about, which I didn't mind at all. That is such a cute mindset of her to be like, yo, I want to be a part of this family, and I want to be a part of this family in the context that they live it. His mom is amazing. I'd like to point out, even if she moms so hard it makes me weepy. So background info, I have a really common sounding name spelled really uncommonly. Think Danielle or Jessica, because in addition to everything else, my parents decided to be creative when they named me. So although I do sort of like my name, that meant I was that kid who never saw their name personalized on anything. Mike's family, on the other hand, had like a million kids and they all got traditional names, so personalized stuff was huge for them. It kept them from fighting over stuff, I guess. One of the things in their house, because they have a pool, is that each of the kids, adults now, has their own personalized beach towel that lives at the house. Stop it. That's so fucking cute. Stop it. No way. So we get to their place and it's been a hot drive there. So right after we get in, Mike suggests I go to his room to get changed into a swimsuit so we can have a dip in the pool. I'm thinking that sounds perfect, right? Some of you may already know where this is going. I get to his room and there is a towel on the bed in my favorite color with my fucking stupid ass spelled name embroidered into it. So here I am crying over a goddamn towel and he's in the doorway watching and grinning like he just pranked me or some shit. Turns out it was her idea, but she checked with Mike to make sure it was spelled right. So now I have a towel for when we visit because apparently I'm welcome. I've heard enough. Get married. Y'all, family does that for me. I'm on one knee that same day. That's so fucking cute. I can't believe that. When is it my turn? For real, for real. I want this cute shit. If I sound cranky, it's just because I'm better at self-deprecation than I am expressing emotions in a direct way. I really am blown away and touched by how much these people have welcomed me. Mike has already sort of learned to decode the way I talk and joke, which is nice, but the first time he gently said, "That's not humor, that's just putting yourself down, babe." I definitely wanted to go hide under the table. He doesn't let me be mean to me. That's a thing good partners do, I guess? I wouldn't know. Again, yes, I am in therapy. I'm working on myself. It's not his responsibility to put me back together. It's just something he does naturally. I literally told him one night that I was sorry, I'm kind of broken, and he snorted and said, "At least you can walk," in the most disgusted voice ever, and made me laugh. I digress. So the food was once again amazing, and I kept my promise to teach his mom how to make my cinnamon bun bread pudding, so I felt like I contributed. Insert Ralph Wiggum "I'm helping" meme. I learned to play Yahtzee, and as it turns out, I'm very good at it. They do a lot of board game things at night when everyone is staying for the week. These people have a lot of board games and puzzles. Whole damn storage closet of the things. They also drink like fucking fish and can hold it, so I am learning to pace myself. Mike doesn't drink much when we aren't there, so I'm not worried that it's a red flag. Only red flag of his that I found was a Red Sox pennant in his room. Now I realize I might be talking him up a lot, but he isn't perfect. He snores. He has a habit of arguing with people on the TV when they make stupid decisions. He sometimes starts talking about things I don't understand and just goes and goes until he realizes he lost me 15 minutes ago, and he is fastidiously tidy, which makes me feel guilty because I have bad habits to lose. I'm not used to clutter means I can't move through an area, but I'm really trying. I barely spend any time at my own place anymore, and we're definitely looking to move in together sooner than later. Yeah, so not that much of an update. No one burned themselves on a firework or anything super exciting. I'm just in an ongoing relationship with a great guy who has a great family, and things continue to look up for us. We head home tonight so we can spend some time alone Sunday. Hope everyone else had a safe and happy holiday. Edit my extremely unhealthy but delicious cinnamon bun bread pudding recipe. Oh my god, she gave us a whole cinnamon bun recipe. Chat, odds we stream me making the cinnamon bun recipe. Let me know if y'all want to see it. I suck tremendously at baking, but I think it would be kind of funny. Update for August 1st, 2024, a month after the third update here. This is not an exciting update. Not engaged, no babies on the way, not even freakishly tall ones like some of you are hexing me with, but Jess finally met Mike. Jess and I have this friend who I will call Meg and not Tallulah, despite both Jess and Mike thinking it was hilarious. Jess and I have this friend who we will call Meg. Meg was planning to have a birthday party, the big 3-0, and she and Jess are close and both presently single. They chose a local bar with outside seating, and Jess did a, wait, let's check their accessibility, because I've been bitching to her for the last month. And LOL and be fucking hold, after calling the place, they didn't have a ramp for the balcony / outside seating area. As I've been told, Jess said, nope, I am meeting Mr. OP's Reddit user. And so they found another place that's a damn hike from everyone, but it has a great outside area with accessibility. And then we got the invite through Facebook because we are all basic, I guess. And Mike was stoked because they have this awesome beer selection. Full stop, I hate hops. So then Meg told us that they chose it because Jess wanted Mike to feel welcome. So hats off to Jess for making the comeback impression of a century, I guess. The birthday was fun and silly, and everyone in my immediate friend group met Mike and loved him. Tons of laughter, everyone drank way too much, but fortunately, we had enough heads up for a planned motel stay. Why, yes, I do own a UV flashlight, why do you ask? So we and a bunch of other people didn't drive home. We actually had brunch in the bar the next day. It was absolutely awesome, and I am ruined for pancakes because fluffy. Once again, I digress. Jess and Mike hit it off, and she told him literally every story I didn't want her to over brunch, and it was all great apart from the persistent hangover. I crashed at Mike's again. And then he asked what it would cost to break my lease because he hates the mornings he wakes up and I'm not there. Stop. Riz. Fuck. That's so cute. Chat, I'm stealing that one. I'm putting that in the brain bank for whenever I ask some girl someday. I'm gonna use that. So the next upcoming week and a half or so is going to be insane while I pack up my whole damn life and shove half into a storage unit and the other half into his apartment, and then we'll be living together. I know it's too soon. He does too. We've decided we're idiots and just going for it. My landlord is a lady who is a bit on the older side and isn't charging me for breaking the lease as long as I leave the place ready for a new renter. So I may respond to comments for a bit right away, but expect a lot of silence for a while after. I'm happy they're happy, but I'm also mad that I'm not this happy. Does that make sense, chat? Please, 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 please. No, it's cute. I love to see it, chat. When you know, you know. I truly do believe that. All right, so now we're getting in the new updates. First new update, 5th update total, September 24th, 2024, nearly 2 months after the 4th update and nearly 5 months after the original update. For those not invested, still with Mike, he's amazing. I will marry him. We live together now. It's been trying, as in he is trying not to laugh at how inept I am at cohabitation. I am really good at not leaving stuff out now, so there's improvement. He doesn't infantilize, ooh, big Reddit brain word, me at all, but he definitely gives me the grace due to being an absolute idiot. I appreciate it. We are not engaged. Guys, it's been half a year. Come on. I'm writing a book about our relationship. It starts with my name is, and the rest is just notes. Don't hold your breath. Jess moved into my old apartment. Yes, my former landlord is the GOAT. Jess is also seeing a guy. I think it is too soon. She agrees, but she has reasons. Girl, we all have needs, and who am I to judge? You just got out of a 3-year relationship with the guy didn't make you come. I feel like you can get a little loose with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, go find you a man who's gonna get you there after 3 years of not. Go slut it up out there. Who gives a fuck? And I was recently in kind of a serious car accident. I am fine. I have great health insurance, great car insurance, and am recovering just fine. No GoFundMe's here. Though, if you want to help, just find a reputable charity for helping victims of drunk drivers and give them your money. So I was on my way home from working overtime and some dude clipped my car and I ended up in a ditch while he just sort of spun out. But I wear my seatbelt because I have a brain and I got really, really lucky. Everything is fine. My medical deductible was already paid up for the year and the worst I had was some bruises, a cracked fibula, whiplash, and a totaled car. The silver lining is that Mike is great at caretaking, another check mark in the having kids category. Also, his mom brought us like 1 million homemade frozen dinners and Costco serving trays, and we had nowhere to put them, so she bought us a fucking chest freezer. Guys, I don't even know with this family. They are amazing. I know usually I give some sweet, heartwarming updates while bitching about mental health, but I am pretty well medicated until my leg heals, and I have a great few weeks off of work to cuddle Mike while watching bad sci-fi. So I'm not in the best place to fill your cups. Sorry. Also, Mike says hi. He indulges me. Have a good autumn, and please, for the love of heck, don't drive drunk. And don't expect anything from me unless the Thanksgiving gathering is as epic as they claim. Ahahaha, I almost slipped and said his last name. No doxing for you today, because Reddit is probably already over my shit. As always, I love you guys for the support. I'm okay. Relationship is fab. And please don't drink and drive. 6th and final update as of now. Thanksgiving and Christmas update, December 31st, 2024. There's been a lot of very real life stuff that intersected with the holidays, so I haven't had the best time to make an update. First thing, Mike and I are great. Coming up on a year, if you can believe it. Out of respect, not Mike's family, I'll put a trigger warning here about parental death, trauma, etc. I had a Thanksgiving post in my notes almost fully written when unfortunately I got the call. I mentioned before that I had kind of a rough upbringing and have been estranged from my parents for a few years, but they were still my parents, you know? So anyhow, my mother passed away the day after Thanksgiving. Natural causes, she just neglected her health in general. I hadn't talked to her since a half-hearted attempt last Christmas. She didn't even know about Mike. And I don't know if I even feel sad, exactly, but it knocked me for a loop, and writing about how great Mike's family left a bad taste in my mouth. My therapist says I, paraphrasing here, already mourned the loss of the good parts of my mother when I started processing the bad parts. So my reaction isn't abnormal for once. But it wasn't the easiest time, and then the funeral meant a whole lot of people I never wanted to see again. Mike was a godsend. He's so charismatic and charming that no one had anything bad to say to me. It was more like a room of acquaintances. I'm so glad we moved in together. I don't know how I would have gotten through it and then gone home alone. So I'm going to do this a little out of order. Mike and I spent the whole Christmas week with his parents again, and they were very sympathetic and understanding in the "we respect that you don't want us to make a big deal" way. Most of his family wasn't there except for dinner the day after Christmas. Just wait till the Thanksgiving recap and you'll understand why Christmas is so low-key. No one could handle that twice in 2 months. So it was nice to wake up and feel like family and open presents in my pajamas. Mike and I have matching Christmas ones now. We are ridiculous together and I love it. So it was a white Christmas for the first time in years. To those hoping for a proposal, I did get jewelry, but not a ring. Sorry. Believe me, it's on the table and where we feel we are headed, but we're not rushing things. Also, given everything going on, it wouldn't have been the right time. But I got a lovely pendant with my birthstone and real diamonds, so I was very spoiled. Christmas dinner was good and catered, and a lot of chaos and kids and presents, and I missed most of it because I had a pretty bad headache and it was just a lot at once. But I was there for pictures, and everyone kind of accepts that I'm the future wife, even without a ring, so I feel nice and included. Sorry that this update is on a bit of a downer note. I know I don't really sound like my usual upbeat self, but I'll get back there once the holidays, seasonal depression, and stuff is behind me. That's why I saved my Thanksgiving post for the end, to hopefully go out on a high note. The Thanksgiving recap. Mike and I are happily cohabitating still. Things are well on most fronts. I had a minor car accident a little while ago. I posted on my page about it, but I'm mostly healed up now. Mike's family is still the absolute best, and honestly, his mom is more motherly than mine has ever been. Sucks, but it is what it is. I'd been warned that Thanksgiving is sort of their big holiday, since a lot of the family spends time elsewhere on Christmas, and that it's a bit of a spectacle. But Lord Almighty, I was not prepared for this shit. So, things you need to know. There is some weird battle of the sexes thing they do. A few years ago, Mike's mom pointed out that the family kept getting bigger and it was harder to make enough turkey for everyone. So the kids got together, and everyone takes credit for the idea, and bought their dad one of those turkey deep fryers for Christmas. So Thanksgiving rolls around again. I so wish I'd met Mike sooner to see it myself. And thanks to the combination of beer and, I'm sure we can figure this out, apparently their dad set fire to the lawn. I was gonna say, chat, isn't the whole thing that you shouldn't deep fry a turkey because it's so dangerous? This is a very common thing apparently. Like, people literally deep fry turkeys and set their house on fire. At least no one was hurt apart from pride. But after that, there was sober practice, and now mom's turkey versus dad's turkey is the whole thing. Like, there is literally shit talk the whole day. People are set up into camps. I joked we needed team shirts, and I think they actually want to do that next year. It was all pretty hilarious and casual, and they had like 3 damn tables set up. Don't worry, Reddit. I made sure no teenagers were being parentified or, unlike in-laws, were being forced to sit at the kids' table. Actually, I was low-key jealous, and they got crayons and coloring books. The food was all amazing and all hands on deck except for me, because his mom refused to have me on my feet even though my leg is basically fine now. Mike kept bringing me stuff. It was so cute, y'all. I can't even put into words how much golden retriever energy this boy has. If you're wondering who made the better turkey, oh man, it's hard. Mike's mom does a brine. Alton Brown is the GOAT, but there is something about fried turkey skin that is just next level. So I'd say it's a tie. And that's not just me being diplomatic. I ate so much that I barely had room for dessert. It was fantastic. I never fall asleep in the car, but I was passed out on the drive home. We had kind of a second Thanksgiving at home the next day from the leftovers, and I probably just put on 50 pounds. No regrets. Anyway, I'm off to sleep the bird off. I hope you all had a wonderful turkey day and a great Christmas coming up. End recap. So there you have it. I'm okay. We're okay. And I'm looking forward to 2025 being even better than 2024. Happy New Year's. I wish you all the best. If there's not an update in the next year or two that's like, we're engaged. No, you know what? Honestly, I don't want to rush the couple. They get married in their timeline. If she ever posts an update titled, "We broke up," we're starting riots, chat. I hope this clip is never used in a inciting riot court case against me, because for all intents and purposes, this is a joke, but we're starting a riot, chat.